morning. Still, let me thank everyone for coming out to be a part of this exciting new announcement here in the city of Denver. How you both doing? Good to see you. We've got an exciting announcement for you today. I want to share how excited the city of Denver is today to launch a new exciting mobility app and through a pilot program with Xerox Corporation called Go Denver. This new mobility app is about meeting the Denver residents where they are, about helping people who, as we grow as a city, folks are thinking differently about how they move about our city. We know people are using bike share, they're using car share, they're tuk-tuking around the city of Denver. And today, this new mobility app in partnership with Xerox will pilot helping to meet residents where they are to be able to pull up in one app the ability to determine how to move faster, cheaper, and greener throughout the city of Denver. And so we're very excited today about this announcement. And I've already, as I was just sharing with David Cummins from Xerox, downloaded the application and was playing with it last night, just testing how I can move from my home to Union Station and what the best mode of transportation would be to help me do that. Depending on how I want to do it, we could do it greener, we can do it faster, we can do it the cheapest way. Let me just say this. This is an innovative way, a new app, innovative app here in the city and county of Denver. But it's not the first time this app has been unveiled. The Los Angeles has done this in partnership as well with Xerox. But through this pilot program over the next year, our goal is to fine-tune this app and to make it a tool that is useful for not only the people who live in metropolitan Denver, but also folks who visit our city. They can download the Go app through their Apple Store or Android store. You can go to the Pocket Denver, pocketgov.org and download it from the city's website as well. The ideal, again, is to make it more efficient, to make it faster and greener for people to move about the city. To demonstrate what we're talking about, we have a very special video for you to take a look at.
The Go Denver app is easy and convenient to use. You can set your personal preferences, including which transportation options you'd like to see in your trips before you enter your destination. Trips are labeled as cheapest, fastest, and greenest, so you can choose an option that is best for you. You can even see step-by-step directions getting you to and from anywhere in the greater Denver area.
The Go Denver app is going to provide a lot of information for our customers, but will also provide information to the city. We want to make sure that we're providing the best mobility and transportation options available to the folks that are living, working, and playing in Denver.
We know people in Denver want to find the fastest, cheapest, and greenest ways to get around town, and that's exactly what this app will provide.
The app makes it very easy for me to compare my options for transportation. One of my favorite aspects is that it includes bike share, car share, and ride sharing modes, in addition to public transportation.
So the first version of the Go Denver app is about integrated trip planning, but soon we're going to be adding new features like bookings and payments, and scorecards, the ability to track things like calories burned, what your carbon footprint was, how much money you spent on your personal commute, so you can see how you scored relative to your Facebook peers.
Download the app from the Apple or Google Play Store today.
Let me thank Bill James from RTD Board of Directors, as well as City Councilman Mary Beth Sussman for being here. I want to acknowledge David Ettinger, who is our Chief Performance Officer, who worked very closely with coordinating with Xerox to pilot this project, as well as Anthony Graves to work with us on the regional platform as well, our Regional Director for the Mayor's Office. Now it's my pleasure to turn it over to our Executive Director of Transportation for the City and County of Denver, Chrissy Fanganello.
Thank you, Mayor. Thanks, everyone, for being here today and for this exciting day of launching Go Denver. As everyone knows, transportation is an ongoing challenge for the city as we continue to grow and add more people, and we're all trying to go more places more often. So Denver is looking for new and innovative ways to make this actually easier for all of us to go to home and to work and to school and to see our friends and family. And we were so thrilled when Xerox came and asked us to partner with them on this endeavor. It's an innovative and new solution and new tool. And I've got to throw a big shout out to the team. Several of them are here. They've been working on this for well over a year to bring this out in public to the Denver community, and provide more mobility options, more transportation choices to help everyone get to where they need to go. So we are thrilled to be a part of this and excited to see so many folks here. So please be sure to share the app with all of your friends. The more we have people using this, the more information we get back as well. So we can use the data that comes back to understand how people are using and help us move towards a more dynamic transportation system to make changes on the fly as things are happening, whether there's an incident or congestion. This is a fantastic tool. I think it is a tool that we don't quite know the power of just yet, but we are certainly excited to find out more about it. So encourage everyone to use it. And with that, I want to turn it over to David Cummins, who's going to run you through how to use the app a little bit more closely, and then you'll be able to download it and use it as well this afternoon for wherever you need to go. Thanks, David.
Thank you, Mayor Hancock, Director Fanganello, CPO Ettinger, and all the others from the city that have helped us get to this place, this launch date 18 months ago. We started looking for a city that we could work with to co-design, co-develop this platform. And we focused on Denver because of three main things. First of all, they have the oldest bike share program in the country, and a lot of other mobility providers, even more so than even big cities like LA. The second is you all have a regional transit agency, RTD, that's pretty unique around the country and what it's able to do, and especially with its latest launch of its real-time feed. And so when we look at Denver and their history of, and particularly their recent history of innovation and incubating startups and thinking through how can we really gear this town for mobility, gear this town for millennials to draw in the 20 and 30-year-olds that make up now half of the workforce in this town. And so 18 months ago, we set about this project, and we've had bi-weekly meetings since then, so a lot of effort on the part of the government, of which we're very, very thankful. And we're also very thankful for the transportation service providers, some of whom are represented in the room today, that were able to participate and get on the platform, which we're thrilled with. So let me run you through a couple different demos or different routes you might take. So the first one is current location, here at Union Station. Let's say we wanted to go across to Westminster. And so we're going to route it, and you can see it pulls up the soonest, cheapest, greenest. And for soonest, you have Lyft, you have Car2Go represented. Flitways is your ability to book a taxi. You have, let's click on this option, you can take a bike to a real-time RTD bus, and you can see the little wireless over the bus, and you click on that, and you get an indication of whether the bus is going to be on time at the bus stop or not. Then let me show you another one that I did yesterday. So this app is not just geared for people trying to get around town who live here, but it's also for people that, now I got my little text messages coming in here, but it's also for people like myself that are tourists coming from out of town. I thought I had turned that off, but I guess not. So when I landed yesterday at Denver Airport, the first thing I did is I put in DIA, and I'm staying at the Sheraton downtown. Thanks, Kirk. And then I routed it. And the first option was said to be the cheapest option, which is take your own car. And in the case, I had actually already rented a car because I'm going to be here for 4 days. So I pushed the book parking, and it redirected me through a partner, ParkWiz, that's integrated with this app. It redirected me to, it's going a little slow here, I apologize, but it redirected me to parking garages around town. And the ones that pops up, and this is a little slow, but the one that popped up immediately yesterday was this one here, Sheraton. It's actually the same garage at the hotel that I'm staying in. It's $16 a day. And I thought, well, I'll just call the hotel and figure out what it would cost regularly if I just pulled up. It's $37 a day. So I actually saved $45 by using the app. So my company's happy with me for saving that money. But this is just one of the features. We have a real-time integration with Google Maps. And so when you see that, it was 30 minutes to downtown, that is real-time information from Google Map feed. And then you can also take Google Maps as your navigation tool, or Apple if you prefer. and you can navigate directly from this app. And so when we think about what it can do today, it's really a trip planning platform today, and with the redirects to these third-party TSPs. But then the new features will be the ability to book directly and pay directly from the app with the companies here listed. And then we're going to also introduce some of those scorecard elements, so you can track your mobility, you can track your spend, you can track your carbon footprint, and you can track it relative to your social network friends. So there's some of the cool things that are coming out. We're really excited about it. Go to godenverapp.com and download the app, use the app, try it out, provide feedback. There's a feedback mechanism within the app or on that website, and this is an iterative process. This is a co-creative process with the larger metro area of Denver. We're going to get that feedback, we're going to incorporate it, we're going to include it in the next update, and we're doing bi-weekly updates. So please be a part of this process, and with that I'll turn it over to the mayor and open it up to questions.
Yes. Good Lord, have mercy. Go ahead.
So I don't know who wants to answer this, but I mean, just the bullet points again about, pilot program, how long will that last, and when will it, and then what happens at the end of the pilot program?
It's an 18-month pilot program. At that point, we will work with Xerox to evaluate, how things have gone and assess. And then the city actually, in partnership with Xerox, will determine whether or not we issue this out for an RFP, and we can open it up to the larger marketplace. But in order to make this a broader, more comprehensive program going forward, we may issue an RFP, and then other companies will be able to compete to actually be our provider. But we are grateful to Xerox in coming forward and saying we will pilot this program with you to see if this is something that works on behalf of the public.
And why do you want, just to follow up, why do you want the people who live and work in Denver to use this app?
This helps us to determine, as you tried, as David just pointed out, this is a great way to save money. It's a great way to figure out how you can move faster about the city, and also to do it in a very green and efficient manner, a sustainable manner. This also allows us to aggregate a lot of data, which is very important for us to determine in how we build out infrastructure, where we make investments, any types of other modes that we might want to bring into the city of Denver to see how people are moving about our city. And we want this city to be the smartest city in the country. This is a smart city, but we're going to be the smartest city in the country. And so this type of information, this type of innovation, where we're aggregating data, is going to help us to make the right decisions on behalf of the people who live here, work here, but also visit here.
I think this question's for David. You mentioned being able to pay with this app eventually. How long do you think that would take? And are you working with RTD on that? Where is that discussion?
Sure. So doing the integration with the private providers, quite frankly, is a bit easier, right? So they have third-party APIs. So we're already in advanced discussions with the providers represented here. And so starting next month, we'll start turning on, as we turn on a particular provider, we'll turn that on in an update within the app, so you can book and pay directly from the app. And similarly, RTD is exploring what's called mobile ticketing in the industry, where you can use a smartphone to do either a visual validation or a reader validation of a QR code or a barcode. So that's something that I know RTD is exploring. I think from our standpoint, as cities start to integrate all of these next generation solutions, pay by cell for parking is another one, right? If you can get it on a common platform, that's the benefit to the citizen. They don't have to go in multiple different apps to get around town and to pay. So I think the vision that the city has is to have a platform like this be a sales channel for the public and private providers of transportation.
And is it tapped into the real-time bus information
It
already?
is.
It is?
Yeah, and so you can tell, I showed one on the Sooner option. You can tell when a bus has got a real-time data feed. I clicked on it. And if it has a wireless, this option right now doesn't have it, but depending on the trip, not all of the RTD buses, but most of the RTD buses have the real-time wireless feed, and you can get it directly into this app and see where they are against the scheduled time. I'm sorry.
Examples of what?
Examples of transit providers where we can pay directly when the app updates.
Absolutely. So when we do the update, you'll see that there's an update, and it'll show you the new features that are being launched in that update. So that's one of the ways the end user will be able to tell. We'll also put that on the Go Denver app landing page, and we would love for you all, for the media, to be involved with it, kind of that network, and we'll do Facebook updates and things like that, so people know when these new features are being launched.
Will that be RTD? Do you know who specifically?
We're not specifically saying which of it's going to be the private providers initially, not RTD. Yeah.
And how many like Denver businesses have you been working with, things like that, but also parking garage discounts?
Yeah. So right now, there's 100 different garage represented around the Denver area that you can pre-book with. So it's quite a few. Now that's not done by us directly. It's done by one of the TSPs, ParkWiz, that we've integrated with. So yeah.
I have one more. Chrissy, what are some examples of things that you can do with the data that you're going to get from this app?
So I think part of that is we've got to see some of the capabilities and reports that Xerox can give us. So those are things that we'll be working on over the next, over the pilot process, so that we can understand what's the data that we have and what might we want to do with it. We have a really dynamic transportation system already with our traffic signal system. So I think we'll be sort of exploring other opportunities for how that might help us inform how we're running the system, how we're operating overall, if there are improvements that we might want to make, even if there's spot improvements, if congestion is happening, things of that nature. But from a broader picture perspective and probably longer term perspective, does it help us understand the prioritization of improvements that we might want to make? Can it help us understand where people are coming from and going to, and how they are traveling, so that we can kind of better understand the demand that we have on the system and how we can help shift folks around. If we've got, during the rush hour, obviously, when there's the peak demand and the crush on the system, if this app makes it easier for folks to understand, here are all of my options, and otherwise they might not have known it was easy for them to take. So this app kind of puts it all in one place. We've been talking about this as doing more with less. One app provides you a lot of information and sort of bridge the gap to our customers. From the public sector side, we have a lot of information, but how do we always get that out to everybody? And so I think this app will actually help us share the information with folks and give people more confidence in using other modes of getting around rather than just simply always in a single occupancy vehicle.
I was told one more question, or maybe not. All right, thank you all for coming out.